I need to be like taking home like 100,000 euros a year salary, guys, like really fast. And this was like year 3 or 4 in business for us. Me and Daragh were like, oh my god, this is like toxic. This person was a dictator. We've had to let go of this person like really fast. This person went to some of our clients to try to poach them, and all our clients laughed in his face saying, what are you thinking? Like, are you like high, man? Like get out of here, you know? I want to make that clear. This person was fired. Elon Musk, from PayPal to Tesla to all these other ventures, and now government capacity soon enough. That guy is worth in multi-billions of dollars. It's like, why does he keep going every morning? The answer I came to: we just have a natural ability to jump off this cliff and land on our 2 feet. And we're trying to figure out mid-air how we're going to land on our feet. 6 and a bit years ago, started with 3,000 euros each into the business. We've seen that money disappear, appear, double, triple, minus. COVID hit us. We've seen that money go everywhere. We had to survive. Really good question that Dad asked me of like, what keeps you going? That made me like deep think a little bit over the last few days. Why do we get up in the morning and just drive on? Why do we keep going even with wins? Like, you see so many extra successful people like.
Welcome back to episode 7 of Built from Scratch.
Welcome back. Welcome back in the festive spirit, I suppose.
Yeah, thank God this is actually getting released around Christmas.
Where's your Christmas outfit?
I don't actually own one, but this is also going on a week after Christmas, so people will not want to see.
Ooh, no.
Rough. No, I'm joking.
Do you not own any Christmas outfits?
Not at the moment, no.
You should really like go and like buy one.
Maybe.
Like, yeah.
But I'm doing Christmas in Spain, so I won't be able to wear a jumper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you get one of those nice like floral shirts and like with like Santa Claus or something on it.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
We'll crop out a picture if I end up doing that. Well, firstly, let's introduce ourselves. Erik, do you want to kick off with your introduction?
Yeah, my name is Erik. I'm 24 years old. I'm an agency owner, and also I'm involved in the education space for the last 6.5 years.
Cool. Well, my name is Daragh Jordan. We co-founded Grafton Digital together. I exited as of this year, and I'm currently building Magnate, looking to change the game in messaging and task management for service-based businesses. And we have a collaborative project. Well, the podcast, but also we have a car park in Galway City.
Yeah, this podcast is becoming like a full-time gig now. The amount of effort and logistics that are going into this. We took like 25 minutes to get this little setup going.
Like 45 minutes.
Yeah, but like that's because, you know, you're trying to, I suppose, find your mic levels a bit better.
Yeah, because we've had issues with our volumes up to date. I don't think I was close enough to the mic. So apologies for that. Thank you for hanging in with us.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Okay, how's your week been actually? Firstly, kicking off.
My week's been good. So it's Wednesday. We're only like a couple more days, and it's like Christmas. Like fully everything is like shutting down, winding down. So it's awesome. I was just in Budapest, visited my grandmother for a little bit, met up with some friends, met up with Martin and Leo as well, the guys are helping us in the podcast. Yeah, just like chilled out, met some friends, a little bit of family, and like just relaxed. Yeah, and now we're back winding down the last few days. That's what I'm at.
Yeah, no, busy week. I was actually in Spain at the weekend over with family, and we got some good news. I know I had said on the podcast that I was applying for New Frontiers. We got New Frontiers. So that's a €15,000 stipend and leads into Enterprise Ireland.
That's great.
For the funding. So yeah. Nice win.
Is that like a 6-month like tranche, and like you kind of have to go through like a 6-month process?
Yeah, I think it's 6 months of engaging in the program, which leads you into then further Enterprise Ireland funding. So yeah, I'm very excited to kick off with that in Dublin. So yeah.
Who else got it was only like a couple of companies that got this.
I think there's about 14 or 15 different companies.
Yes, small number.
So it was very like I think about 30 plus got shortlisted. And then like 13 companies got it. So yeah, pretty competitive. I think there's about 100 actually applied, is what I heard. And then, about 30 applied. And then 30 got shortlisted for interview. And then 13 got it. So
nice, well done. Congratulations to you and the team.
Yeah, no, it's a collaborative effort by all the team at Magnate.
Yeah.
So no, it's good. Excited for it. And it's good momentum coming into the new year as well. So.
Yeah, and we have another bit of news, I suppose, as well. Our chairman just had his first baby boy. William Alexander Flower was born 2 days ago, 6 pounds in New York. So big congratulations to Gareth and Nessa and Zoe.
Yeah, more chaos being brought into the world.
More bit of chaos. Or let's call it a new builder is coming in. Here to take over the world. So it's awesome to see that.
No, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. We're 1 week before Christmas, so look excited. Right, should we kick into it?
We can kick into it if you wish.
Yeah, I'll kick off. I think you went first last week, so I'll go first this week.
Okay.
So the headline I put on this is: business takes twice as long as you think and twice as much money.
Yeah. Yeah. How many times have I experienced this? Let me just think.
No, I think it was after getting the New Frontiers funding. Magnate today is completely bootstrapped. I know Grafton's also completely bootstrapped over 6 years. But I suppose looking at the journey, I definitely, when we started, would have thought of being able to get some level of funding earlier. Definitely, I hadn't understood this because obviously from Grafton we never raised capital, never really availed of much grants or anything. So I think I was told this when I started my product journey by the man that goes by the name of Aidan Duff, 51 Bikes. We were having lunch and he said to me, Daragh, Just know it'll take twice as long as you think and twice as much money. And he was absolutely correct.
Shout out to Aidan and everyone else.
Yeah, so here, it was good advice, and only in hindsight did I really understand it. But I suppose definitely getting the injection of capital in the form of grants from Enterprise Ireland, and then kicking off on that journey, which then leads into hopefully further funding. The desire for next year is to raise a pre-seed round and get the PSSF from Enterprise Ireland and enter the NDRC accelerator. But I suppose when I say that phrase, I'd love to hear what idea jumps to mind for you about that journey, or moments where you went, God, I thought I would have reached this point already, or
too many memories to choose from is the honest answer. Like we've obviously bootstrapped Grafton 6 and a bit years ago, started with €3,000 each into the business, and we've seen that money disappear, appear, double, triple, minus. We've seen that money go everywhere, right? We've seen COVID hit us. We've seen a lot of waves hit us, and we had to survive. I think, funny concept, because I actually was thinking about this for the last few weeks. Funny enough, in the back of my head, I didn't actually know that this was going to be a topic you were going to bring up.
Yeah.
But I was thinking in the back of my head, like, about this principle of basically it's always more than what you think. Doesn't matter what projections or what we actually do a business plan on or whatever, right? It's never what you expect. And is it because we're blatantly optimistic all the time? Is that why? Or do we just have a natural ability to jump off this cliff and land on our 2 feet sometimes, and we're trying to figure out midair how we're going to land on our feet? So we're just jumping into this deep water all the time. And is that how the best entrepreneurs are forged, by just putting themselves in front of all sorts of chaos fire? Probably, I did actually have a think about this of imagine if I went to university, college, would I have learned more foundations to be able to be a little bit more predicting on what challenges might come, what costs, increases could have come, etc. What does the road look like? But I came to the conclusion that this is probably the best method to learn, and in a way it's a costly mistake, and in a way it isn't, because it's only a costly mistake if you do it twice at the same capacity. So it's our job is to learn from our mistakes and try to do it better and faster and smarter each time. Sky Park, the most recent venture, when we've taken it over, fantastic car park in the middle of Galway City, not looking to get ourselves fazed by anything. Couple of things like birds near the docks. Who would have thought about birds near the docks? So people obviously don't like bird poop on their car. So it's one of those things. We had to buy a full-on 360 sound system that's only one-off in Ireland. There's only one company that does this. It flies all the way from Germany or whatever, and it's you put it all across, and there's so many measures you have to put in. I was talking to the guys who were doing the car parking deal with them, they were laughing in London in their fancy offices. These 2 guys have taken, we don't even know where Galway is, but they've taken this car park, and they're struggling with seagulls, So us and seagulls don't really have a loving relationships. We love nature, we support nature, but please don't nest in our car park, and please don't fly above this sky park located in Heinz's Yard in Galway City. Please don't. Yeah. It's very frustrating, and it's very costly to business. But like those things just come into play, and we had to like survive and like reinvent the wheel a little bit and be smart about it, you know, and like it's so outside your control. But who could have said it to you?
But so we launched kind of unofficially in March of 2024. Yeah. Now we had some issues with birds and also barriers. Birds and
barriers were your story actually, because you were kind of heading this up.
6 months. But I was only looking at photos there last night, right? And there's a picture of Erik and I from St. Patrick's Day, right? And Martin, I'll send you over the picture. We only saw this last night. I was looking now at Amy.
Why were we wearing that like St. Patrick's hat? Is so embarrassing.
We were wearing high-vis St. Patrick's hat in an empty car park.
We were there, like 7 a.m.
You're really early.
Waiting for it. Waiting for the cars to come in.
But funny piece, I think it was one of the quietest St. Patrick days ever
recorded in Galway City. Of course, the day we want to like be like happy about our car park and like welcome all the drivers. Now there was a little bit of a win. Like people started coming in suddenly, and we finally figured it out. But it was like the build up of 4 or 5 hours of standing there in the cold waiting for cars to come, and you're trying to be like, come on in, you know, like come on up. Like it was myself, yourself and Amy, like just waiting for people to come in, and we're like, oh my god, this is not working. Like why is it just why are we cursed?
Like it's a funny memory, and I think it'll be, you know, obviously now that like Sky Park is starting to take off and do a lot better, it's a funny memory now. Definitely a little sensitive about it at the time, but I definitely think one of the best ones I heard analogy wise is entrepreneurship is jumping off a cliff and trying to build a plane on the way down.
Okay, yeah, you're jumping off a cliff trying to build a plane on the way down. Okay, similar to my thinking as well. That is like, it's so true though. Like, and like there's no easy pill just to take and just to go through it. It's like you got to suffer, break, and then make. You know, like it is like one of those things.
But I think like, and it's interesting even talking to the team with Magnate, because a good few of the guys, it's their first time being in a startup. And everyone has said their number one surprise from it is how fast they've had to learn so much information. Because when there's not a full team, when not everyone has a very niche, very small job to do, everyone's all hands on deck. It's evenings, days, weekends, and then you're probably doing roles that you didn't even really know anything about. Yeah, it's you have to learn so fast or get out. Yeah, and anyone who sticks around, and we have a really strong team now of people that are all in and learning a lot and all hands on deck. But no more than entrepreneurship, I suppose our model has always been, oh, sure, we could probably go pull this off. I actually saw a story there with Brewdog recently. Yeah. They were doing about 250 cans a week, right? And they were talking to Tesco. He put up a link to the post about this. He put up a post about Tesco wanted to get 2,000 cans a week, and they were currently making by hand 250. And they signed the deal. They didn't have enough cash for equipment or anything. They got a bank loan, stretched them over, and made it happen. Yeah. And then Tesco had to increase because they were on the up and up, because they won some competition. But it just shows I'll put myself in a scenario to try and win. If I get there, I will make a win. I will make this happen by any means necessary.
Yeah, but I think that's like you gotta be so like delusional and strong, and you gotta have so much self-belief to make this happen. You know, and like it's not all about the money. Like the money to fuel the venture can be found or can be borrowed or borrowed and, you know, like stolen or whatever. But like in general, I just find that it's just like a lot of people are afraid of it. Like I was actually doing this short exercise with the guys over in Hungary who are very ambitious and getting their startup going in the next short while. And one of the things, like whenever like I throw something out of like, oh, you gotta like build a product, like the first questions they start thinking of like, oh my god, we can't afford developers right now, or you know, it's like I'm not saying don't overthink that whole concept, but you kind of just gotta start and let's like, how do you sell this bottle of air? Essentially get money for it and also get people to build it at the same time, which you're exactly going through. You know, you've got a concept, you got a vision, you got your mission, you got a great team, and like you're trying to push that. But a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes of like you have exactly the same worry as most people would do, whether it be the investors or being employed by the company. but you're just that little bit more held together, and like just when you're in that office, you're just a little bit more like less bringing in like, you know, your stress, your worries. You're there. You're like, well, today we're believing in it. This morning we're believing in it. And tonight we're believing in it. So it's like you are unstoppable is the whole point of this, you know. And like I think most founders just like are really good at pain and suffering and resilience. Yeah. You know, over and over again.
Any of them that stick around to do it long enough.
Yeah, like when someone goes to me and like, oh, I've been doing entrepreneurship for like 35 years, I'm like, whew. It's like a long marathon to like sprint.
Yeah, I was talking to an agency owner recently, building up our waitlist for Magnate, and they jumped on the waitlist. But he's been doing his digital agency for 20 years. And I looked at that man and I went,
oh my, 20 years digital agency?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
no
that's
joke.
A long time.
No joke.
That's a long time. I know, yeah.
I think me and him both exhaled at the same time and went, you've been through some stuff.
Yeah, but again, a lot of stuff.
But no, it is interesting, and there is that mutual respect, I think, across the board of if someone's in the game longer than you, has made more money, has expanded and done things you haven't, there's always a respect.
Exactly. There's just such like, it's like the whole like sportsmanship.
Yeah.
You know, like one athlete respects the other athlete, and entrepreneurship is a total sport. You know, so it's like, and you help each other and you get going, you know, together. So, yeah, but like that is a really good point. Everything is more longer and harder than you'd ever
thought,
even think, and that's why we don't sleep at night very regularly. But like, look, yeah, don't mind the bags under the eyes, you know, like we'll cover that up.
Christmas will be our rest and recovery period.
Yeah, that's why I was saying in the last episode, I actually really look forward to it, you know, because like I think you need to recover. You can't always be in the state of push. You kind of always, you know, you have to recover.
Yeah. So what's one of your first points?
Okay, so I had a really interesting conversation. So actually, I had the opportunity, a really interesting opportunity, to sit down and have dinner this weekend with Martin's parents. And one of our, you know, discussion points, like the parents were really interested in the story and, you know, everything. And like one of the really good question the dad asked me of like, what keeps you going? In a way, like, have you had enough experiences, maybe enough money, maybe enough context to kind of pull back this push, you know? And like, that made me think on the like spot. I give him an answer on the spot or whatever, but like that made me like deep think a little bit over the last few days, because I think that's a really good question. Is like, why do we get up in the morning and just drive on? Or like, why do we keep going even with wins? Like, you see so many extra successful people, like the likes of Elon Musk, who, you know, from PayPal to Tesla to Neuralink to all these other ventures, and now like in government capacity soon enough. Like, that guy is worth like trillions of dollars or multi-billions of dollars. It's like, why does he keep going every morning? And I think the answer I came to at my phase and my kind of mental perception of the whole thing is, I think a lot of people, especially me, are afraid of stagnation. That's like the word I kind of came to, is like you never want to be like kind of stale on you just never want to be stale again. And I think that keeps you, that makes me wake up every morning of like, I need to keep going, I need to move things, it's not enough, maybe I want more, maybe I want to grow more, maybe I want to explore, maybe I need to innovate. Because a lot of like from like the agency space, you've seen it, like quite a lot of business comes from referral, but a lot of people like that switch to another provider is because their current provider is not caring good enough for them, or not providing, or not keeping up with the times, and that's stagnation for me. So that's another reason that just adds to that point. I think like, would love to hear what gets you out of bed in the morning of like, oh my god, I could do this, because like, especially now I'm like bootstrapping a new software project in 2024 in AI, right? Is like what gets you up out of bed and what gets you going?
Yeah, like I think like all humans are driven by fear of loss or desire of gain. So it's very easy. It's one or the other. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs I've spoken to, a lot of them kind of usually comes from a place of like not having enough and fear of loss, of like, I was never good enough as a kid, so like that's one of my drivers. Or like I've always felt like I never was good enough. Or maybe someone feels like, oh, I've always felt special, and I feel like I am the person to go pull this off. Whatever it is. For myself, like I've always worked best when my back was against the wall. So obviously leaving Grafton was like, okay,
yeah.
Like leaving Grafton was, okay, my comfort is now taken away. And starting this new project of like, okay, I have a runway of money I can live on. Obviously the Sky Park, but like I want to go and pour all my time and energy into a project. Back is against the wall, zero again. And I need to go pull this off and prove to myself that it wasn't just a fluke the first time at Grafton that we pulled that off. It's, okay, I've learned tangible skills, I've made tangible contacts, and I've learned a lot more about entrepreneurship, because I suppose I've set a couple of very lofty goals in my lifetime that I want to hit. And I suppose the combination of, I've built in like a fear of loss piece and then a gain piece. So my fear of loss is my back against the wall. I need to go make this product into a real business so I can live on the money and build and hopefully exit and whatever over time. But then I have a desire of gain then, in the sense that I have some lifetime goals, both monetary and otherwise, that I want to hit. And they drive me forward as well. So I try to really build that in. So they would be kind of my couple pieces, because going from zero is very difficult. And if you don't really know what's driving you and what's getting you out of bed every day, I think it's very hard to do it.
Yeah, but and I think it's that, again, we're going back to that whole blinded optimism piece of like, that kind of just gets you out, because like a lot of people like say, I think it's not all about the money when they make a lot of money. You know, and like it's very easy to say it, but at the start it's all about the money. Most businesses get started because they want to gain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Financially, and probably they enjoy it. It's like, you know, depends on whatever you're looking to start or do. But it's like that made me like think of like, okay, what is my drive? Yeah. And like that's probably what I got to, is the whole like, I don't want to be just like stale or stagnated in my space. Like I want to keep moving. And like the more momentum I create, like I feel like you create this, you're indestructible, you know, force not to be reckoned with. And you're growing, you're building, you're innovating in the space. And like the other half I kind of had is like, I think the minute you kind of become stale or slow down, right, of like, I'm not getting up, I'm not giving this input, your business, I think, naturally rots. You know, like it just doesn't like it won't survive all the storms that it's about to, you know, go through. And that's why I like taking in new people from all ages, from all backgrounds, from all experiences, to make sure that we're always innovating, and I get the best perspective as a business owner and the best experience across you know, all kind of sectors.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's always been the interesting piece with Grafton was that we were obviously on the younger side, but our project leads, team leads were much older than us. So it was, you know, I think the phrase that we ended up running with for a while was a Gen Z led company with decades of experience, because we were always that push and pull, because I think to have that full spectrum of perspective, insights, life experience, growing up in different countries, different time periods, I think it all adds to a very holistic, very positive output. And I suppose that's definitely been something that really helped us grow as well, is that when we started hiring people much older than us, much more experienced, we had kind of the more fresh perspective, no insight in the industry previously, like new eyes on old problems, but then they had the experience to back it up then and give us maybe some value from the industry, that because they've worked in agencies or, you know, tech companies before. So I think having all perspectives adds a lot of value to it.
No, 100%. And like, you know, this going into the AI space, it just moves at such a quick pace that you cannot just like sit there and sit still.
Yeah, but I think the interesting piece, I've been thinking a lot about this over the last 2 weeks, is yes, new products are popping up every second of every day, but we've seen this with businesses. Businesses typically move very slow. Like
very small to adapt.
Like even in 2019, 2020, we were trying to convince companies in Ireland to buy websites.
Yeah, or like start a social media, like actually invest in social media.
So like, I think the business fundamentals still stand. There's this AI buzz of, you know, new product, new this, new that. I think personally, and my approach anyways, is I'm going knocking on businesses' doors going, hey, what's your real problems? And going, okay, well, XYZ problem you just mentioned around messaging or task management or data insights, like, we can solve them for you. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that existed. They don't know about all these, like, hype productivity, pieces, because there's a section of, like, SaaS founders and, like, tech founders that know all about the productivity. They've tried every software. But most business owners haven't. And hence why I really think it's my background, and I suppose the background we built of, like, going direct to business owners, speaking to business owners much, 50s, 60s, 70s, and show them this product, show them the value, and then handhold them through that implementation at the start. I think it's something that most AI founders are not willing to do. And I think the business fundamentals still stand. People are not moving very quickly. They're still using the same softwares for the most part. And hence why I'm really going to focus on business fundamentals for the next, couple of years of Magnate is, yes, there's new buzz, new AI, but show me how many new products actually got implemented into real workplaces and stayed for long term. Not that many.
Yeah, there's a lot of fear as well at the moment, but it's like the whole FOMO situation, around of like, oh, I need this word attached to my company, AI. Yeah. So like that's actually a really good point. Like, and like it's one of those things. It's like if you're watching the news, you're always gonna feel like you're missing out. But suddenly if you just like focus on your own little like space and innovate, like suddenly you're gonna start seeing innovation. You're gonna see less of the outside noise, and you're gonna see more of your own noise inside you.
Totally.
So
and like I think it's like we talked about in previous episodes, and it'll definitely be mentioned so many more times of listen to your customers. Like listen to your industry. Like, is there something they're adopting? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But I suppose from a Magnate perspective, like people are still using their Outlook and Gmail. They're still using their WhatsApp. They're using their iMessage. They're using their Slack or Teams, and it's like, okay, there's been a small bit of innovation over the last couple of years, but not a tremendous amount. So I've been trying to, because I definitely had the FOMO feeling. I definitely had the feeling that I'm missing out.
I think we all do. I think it's so normal, right?
And I've missed the wave, and I've missed this. But I look around and I go, how many companies have actually implemented AI products? And also, I suppose, and this is something I've done as well, is I've removed AI. I started calling it Magnate AI at the start. I removed the word AI because, like, I don't think it does justice to the company I'm trying to build. I don't want to be just known as like some like AI hype product. Surfer. Like, I'm building a company that truly adds value, and it happens that AI is an element of that to add value to our end user. It's not the sugar coating.
It's not the beyond and end all for you.
No, it's not.
It's the add-on vehicle to like add that added like optimization, of experience.
Because we have really great experience. Aaron, my co-founder, is Masters in AI. Vardan, we have great consultants that are advising for us. Like, it can definitely add a ton of value, but I feel like a lot of startups very lazily put AI on their product. They go beta AI, and they put a wrapper on ChatGPT, and it's nothing more than just a very sloppy attempt.
You know what's funny as well? I spoke to a few investors over the last few weeks, and the minute they see the word AI, there's such a stomach feeling and there's such a fear around it because they don't understand this. So remember, the money that's coming to you is from usually people that are a little bit older, so they cannot be expected to understand and keep up with every single trend as fast, so... but the minute they see AI, they start thinking about, compliance. What is it doing? How is the data used? What, GBT are using, or what engine, learning model, LLM are using. So it's like it creates that whole fear. That's a really good idea to like remove it, like just attach new value to your product and have that as a sidekick, as such that powers it, or like is there in the background, but it's not the forefront that gets looked at. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I think personally it's just being used very lazily. Because I looked around and I went, if I try and like it's Magnate AI this. Now AI definitely has a player on both the back end for value and then for the user experience on both sides. But I just thought to myself, I'm like, I look around and I go, a lot of people are being very lazy with it. There's obviously a lot of concern around it with investors, and like, really and truly, for our customer base, they don't care. They just want to get the value of me solving the pain point. Yeah. So I want Magnate. Magnate, I think, is a strong word. I think it's a strong brand name. And I wanted to be focused on solving customers' problems, not some cool AI tool that's coming into the market. That's just
there. Yeah, and it gets replaced over a month. Yeah. So no, you're going for longevity. No, that makes sense. That's a good point.
Yeah. So that's something I was thinking about anyways. So my next one is a learning I had from my father. He said to me many years ago when we first started a business. So my dad was self-employed basically his entire life.
For a long time.
Yeah, well, he's an electrician and he started a niche waste business then afterwards. So he's been basically self-employed since he was about 18, 19 as well. So it runs in the family. But my dad always said that no matter what's happening in your work, and this works both ways, you leave it at the door. Whatever happened during your day at work, whatever stress or things are going wrong, you're running out of money, he was like, when you get up to the door of home, you take a breather, you put a smile on, you walk in, because everyone else in your life and your personal life, I don't think deserve to be, an emotional punching bag.
On, with just the whole weight of you're carrying on a daily basis. Yeah, like I think it's definitely easier said than done, but it's something you gotta like practice and implement. As a someone that's trying to be good in all sides. And you're trying to always evolve and improve. Like I definitely feel like every time I leave the office, something you're so mentally tired, or like the whole thing is that like I think when you go home, it's the scale of problems that you're faced with at, for example, home or with your partner or with your parents, and like a problem for them could be something really, really small for you because you were dealing with something like you're running out of money and you have, like people on payroll and you can't really, you have to figure it out. And then there's somebody there like, oh, I didn't pick up carrots. And that's like a world melting situation, right? Yeah. It's difficult to like not do it, but that's a really good point. And actually, like it was like I think it was like last kind of Christmas, I asked Gareth for advice. What does he do around this? Of like, does he come home? Like, how does he manage the whole situation? And he's like, you just gotta really like enjoy and manage the chaos at all times. And then you get to like appreciate smaller things better or smaller problems better. It's just a funner thing to solve rather than like solving a big problem. It's a bit more stressful. So just like just gotta categorize it as like, okay, I'm going home here. Like I gotta like just like trying to give myself some positivity of going home. But it's also like switching off is just such a weird concept for most like entrepreneurs. What does switch off mean? Like for some people, switch off is to read a book. Some people is to run, but some people is to like plan or just like trying to do something that they are not like necessarily working. They're doing something so they'll work less the next day, or trying to always outwork themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a concept that worked really well for me anyways around the whole like priorities thing and personal and professional is business is your number one, let's say, priority. So any problems that are going on in the business are your number one priority. But let's just say your partner or your parents or whatever, maybe their big thing for this weekend is cooking family dinner, and by you missing the carrots, is you're like, this is the thing they're thinking about, and like
that's like a big thing for them. They're putting a lot of effort in.
So it's like I suppose what I always try and do is I go, okay, what's important to this person? Am I considering where they're at? And like resetting that and going, okay, clean slate. And that works both ways. Like, let's say, right, your personal, like some personal things are going down in your life and, some things are not going great. And you go, okay, I'm going to walk into work with a smile and we're going for fresh slate again because, that's not fair to bring that the other way as well. So I really try and have as much as I can. I'm human, but I think it's a skill that can be built of, okay, don't leave your baggage at the door.
Yeah. And like it's funny, like I think I put my hand up. I've been very good at leaving like my personal baggage at the door of the office, but I haven't been great at not bringing my work baggage to home, if that makes sense.
I'd be the same. Yeah.
I'm very good at one way of the street and I'm not good at the other way of the street, right? But yeah, we're lucky that we have a really strong like support network and there's a good understanding of why certain things happen, or like why Daragh is moody again.
Yeah.
Or Erik is moody again, I suppose, probably more of a regular one. Yeah.
No comment.
No comment. But it's a really tough thing, and like this is why a lot of relationships at home break down. Whether you're a parent, whether you're husband, a wife, whatever, if you're continuously doing it, it's probably way too selfish. I think there's like allowance of selfish if you're in this space of like, okay, this person is really, really dedicated and is really pushing, and like we give them some space to like let them thrive and let them go. but then there's like a line. And like no, like a lot of people don't realize the line. And again, I put my hand up and say like I don't realize the line a lot of times, and I definitely seem probably selfish to my friends, my family. Sometimes of like, oh my God, we can't say a word to you, or you're just not here mentally, or you're on your phone, or where you know. It's like got to be really good. I see what a lot of people do is they actually like when they're in a conversation, they usually either turn off their phone or like put it on mute, but like they try to like isolate certain things because it's like because of your phones. I think we get like this notification at like 7 p.m. of like a good or a bad email or a good or a bad text message, and it just creates this like ultra, like just like the whole room could go cold really fast.
Yeah.
You know, and like we've been through that, you know, and I think because it's like you're so hyper connected into the internet, and information is just way too accessible. I try to like just really quieten it down in the evenings.
Well, the difficulty is, and this is more relevant to you right now than it is to me, but I know it will become more relevant to me, is time zones is no joke. You know, like you were obviously you the client, or maybe
I have Australia, Ireland, and the US. Right? Thank God I don't have anybody like in like San Francisco knocking on my door at the moment. But like, it's,
would you turn them away?
No. Everybody is welcome to the door. You know, we never turn business down. Leave no money on the tables. You know,
Rick Ross.
Yes. But like, it's just it's really exhausting. You know, and that's why I like try to like preserve your energy throughout the day and like really look at it. But I did like, I think it's an interesting one, right? Of like, we have this chat all the time of like, you've made it so clear that your mission is to like business is a marathon that you're running, and you're looking this over like 10, 20, 30 year interval, and like you are like that's how you're kind of playing your game, right? And like in a way, like, and like I don't have like a gun pointed to my head, but for example, me, I feel like I'm sprinting at the moment, like a lot, and it's like it's been a long time, but I'm coming around towards this is like I have to like live for 10 years, and if I like just like put everything into like all my energy into like one of my 4 F's we talked about in the last pod, then it's like the other ones are gonna rot the same way. You know, it's gonna be stagnated. It's just like you got to try to diversify and keep putting into like your fitness, family, friends, and then finance also. But like it's really challenging because I think like it's like priority. Like I think everybody's livelihood is priority first, and that kind of ties back to like money. You know, so it's like how do you like keep that like regulated? And it doesn't help that most like ultra successful people, like I have not seen them take time off. I like that doesn't help. That doesn't motivate. Like anytime I bring up like a work-life balance question, like I just get looked at like balance. You know, like it's like it doesn't exist, and like that's like okay, your job is to create it. You know, like I'm not saying just like fall into this. You had a really good word for it. What kind of syndrome is it? Is like
imposter syndrome.
You know when you're like it'll come to me. It was on the tip of my tongue. It's like when you're like the prisoner of
Stockholm syndrome.
But like maybe wrong context. But like if it's like you're like stuck into this, like oh well, if everyone's doing it, it's okay.
FOMO.
Is that what it is?
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, if everyone's doing it, I should be probably doing the same thing. And it's like, not to say that anyone's doing anything wrong, but it's whatever suits you.
Yeah.
Because we're programmed differently. Everyone, you know, it's like, okay, your goals are there, but like your input is going to be so much different, and there's so many other circumstances, you know.
There's a concept we're talking about yesterday. We probably had a full podcast conversation yesterday. I think we were talking for like 2 hours.
Yeah, we went. It was like, hey, Daragh, do you want to go a quick walk? And he was like, yeah, I could come out for 10 minutes. We walked for like 2 hours.
Yeah, just talking. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. But like, I suppose the concept I really like is talking around. I think there's a Hormozy one around seasons, of like looking at life at seasons. It's not like what is now is not forever, and like going, okay, for the next 3-6 months, what's my number one priority, and every decision I make should be linked to that. And then, you know, the next 6 months, is that changing? Okay, maybe I neglected my fitness during the 6 months. The following 6 months, I'm going to increase it. You know, so I feel like it gives good audit processes, gives good, like, okay, do I feel like I'm connected enough to my loved ones? Do I feel like my fitness is neglecting? Do I feel like I'm not focusing on the business enough? Is my eye off the ball slightly? So I like kind of having, like this idea of seasons. I run with 3 months, because it gives me that chance to go, okay, sit, review, improve for the next 3 months and go again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like this idea of like yearly reviews, I think is way too long in the world.
It's way too long. So many, like everything changes every month. You know, and like that's why it's like really difficult to stick to like this one big plan. So it's like trying to do like the whole macro micro inputs, you know, and like that the whole season concept I think is really right, and it's a great like building point. But what I found is like you kind of have to also have a really good framework in your mind that you follow and believe in, and that's different for everybody. You know, but like that whole framework helps you just like do things without like thinking about it. You know, it's just you're more like autopilot on it, and you just kind of always believe in that. And like that framework can change each time, you know, and that's what like I'm trying to like at the moment my whole like framework of thinking is of like you have to just allocate time, not just based on priority, but based on your needs as well. Like I'm trying to be more selfish at the moment, for example, by doing more things that Erik needs and Erik wants, you know, and this is why, like, you know, for Christmas, you know, instead of just staying around, I want to go on a sun holiday, and that's why I'm going for a sun holiday, you know, and small things like that to like reward and award yourself because you worked really hard. I think it's so important. But like, you know, that's like seasons, like things change all the time, because I know like next year I've got so much I want to do and so much I have to attend to, so I'm like I need to be the best version of myself, you know, and for that like I'm going to take the next 2 weeks as recovery and planning and like motivation period of like I'm going to hit January like really strong.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's a really good one, and understanding what's coming up next, because even let's say for the last 6 months of me getting Magnet up off the ground obviously gave me a bit more spare
100%,
time.
Like,
so I deep dive into
moved
fitness.
House,
yeah.
you like there's been so much gone on in everyone's lives, you know, but like especially you've had so many environmental changes, you know, and it's like weird because like, you know, like Daragh is like gone from Grafton, but he's like we're still like working together in the office. You're still around. It's like when that changes of like you get your own office, etc. Like that's gonna be like another whole level of like, oh my god, it's like episodes. And I think like we don't get time to like reflect or like appreciate because things move just way too fast. And like I probably touch into this in most of the pods, but like just things just move way too quickly, and like the perception of time is so different if like for me anyways, right? Perception of time is so different. Like time just goes so much faster. You know, I've got so much less time in a week for some reason, and I just don't know why. You know, I just like wake up. I try to wake up earlier, and I still happen to find myself working or, you know, not working out, and I intended to work out, or like I work out and I've done this really good day. It's just like, but it's just everything's just so much like shorter but longer in one way, if you get me.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I totally agree, and I think as we get older, that only speeds up. What's your fourth point?
My 4 point today, like I know we've only got a few more minutes, so I'll be quick on this, but like another interesting thing I kind of thought about over the last few weeks of like we've got some goals to hit with in the future that me and you want to do, and I've really thought about the whole like entrepreneurship circle, the natural, you know, circle of like an entrepreneur, and I've kind of tried to break it down into 3 points of like you are like, first you're always in the asking phase, is like you're really like asking people, gathering information, investigating and making like a little bit of a plan. Then you go into the taking phase of like you are just looking for people to give you stuff, you know, whether it be business advice, services, recommendations, and then you go into the whole giving phase of an entrepreneur, and that's usually happens when you exit or when you become that much more senior in your business that your business can afford to like allow you to take more time off, or for you to like look at other ventures or do other things, right? And like my point being is like the whole like having like a thought in your back of your head of like mentorship, of like giving back to other people, right? Because I think as entrepreneurs we become very good team builders and personal like character builders in our teams, so to like maximize their career path, you know, accelerate it from our learnings, because like you got to be really good with people as an entrepreneur, whatever C-level you are, but if you're an entrepreneur you got to be really really damn good with people. And I think like a lot of people like shy away from the fact of like, I don't think it's like a duty you have to have of like, you have to pick people along the way that you either want to mentor, gift to, or accelerate in their own path. because that kind of keeps this cycle going, or else you're just going to have a lot of people that just don't know what to do and there's continuously either failing or not getting there. So it's like, this is why you have like angel investors, you know, chair people, etc. So it's like, I think like it's kind of unspoken about the whole concept of it's totally okay, and it's something you should strive to do in the future as an entrepreneur, is to like reach that like give phase. It's like, when is it my time to give? You know, so like, you know, this now, you're like building a product. Now you're going to go into, I need people to use my product. You know, I'm going to pick up the phone and say, hey, I need a recommendation. Hey, I need to go do this. Hey, I need investment. So it's like I think it's a really cool concept that, again, like a lot of people don't talk about.
Yeah, and like, I suppose even with us and Garrett and our mentorship with him over the last nearly 4 years now, is like,
right.
If Garrett hadn't come into our lives, I think it
would have been like either really slow or like it would have like failed.
Or
you know,
like
like
hit rocks. Yeah,
like,
it wasn't looking very good for us at that point.
100%. And it's like the question you ask for yourself is, when someone does that, it's like, what is their intention? Remember, like, I think everyone's like overthinks this whole concept of intention. Obviously, some people probably have a really negative experience with a mentor or somebody that they do put a lot of trust into. We were very, very lucky and blessed that our mentor was a really, really good impact for our business and had the utmost priority.
And us too.
Yeah, and us as young guys to evolve and to go forward. But like, it's like when someone asks me like, why do you like spend time, you know, like mentoring or do coaching or trying to like get involved in other like businesses in like a small capacity? I'm like, it's because like I really enjoy the whole like sport of entrepreneurship. And like, I like to, like, if I can in any way give, I do enjoy giving.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I like to like practice what I preach in that sense, you know. But I think more and more people, if they have the time, money, energy, contact, they should give more, you know, or like just like reach out more. Like, there's like the NDRC shutting down. Like, a lot of people are commenting under the whole NDRC concept of like, why don't a bunch of founders just raise a ton of money and keep that whole NDRC concept and run it as private, because it has been like quite successful. Yeah. They have gotten a lot of return for it, and it's like now people are like as a collective afraid of it. You know what I mean? Because it's like tied to government and stuff. So it's like, look, again, it's like, and like the whole angel network, H-ban. You've seen what's kind of gone on there as well. It's just one of those things that like makes me sad as somebody that like I haven't used it, but like I know people that have, and they needed it and they have succeeded with it. Yeah. So it's like, now that like that's gone or going, it's like, you know, it's like it makes you feel sad as an entrepreneur. It's like, what, I need to do more in this space and like need to create. Like, I'm thriving, me and you are both thriving to create this in the future. We work really hard now so we can actually create our own little VC firm, our own little coaching, mentoring circle of businesses, people we invest in the long run. And like, you know, investment can mean time, money, or expertise. You know, it doesn't necessarily just mean always the one thing. So like, that's why like that actually highly motivates me and keeps me going, of like, I get to work with these individuals, or I get to like make small impacts. It's like nice. I think more and more people should go and do it.
Well, then also add the podcast on top of this. Even some of the texts I've got about from the podcast and stuff about us even having these chats and being transparently sharing our learnings is also adding value as well at scale, you know. And we've been like, over the last few weeks, we were getting, you know, larger and larger amounts of views. And
that's because you always mention Hormozi's name or Layla's name in your sentences, but whatever.
I can pull up the metrics. That's only true on YouTube. I also consume him so much that, you know, I just seem to quote him all the time.
Yeah, to be fair, he's a content magnate.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
I love the way he breaks down extremely complex concepts. But yeah, no, I definitely like, between the content piece, and obviously you're doing a lot more mentorship at the moment than I am. I definitely desire to do more, because I think you and I both love the idea of talking business. That's why we're doing this. You and I spend so much time just talking about business, other people's businesses, ideas, concepts, frameworks, what work for other people. Like, I love it. I love talking about it, and this podcast
really fires us up.
Yeah, we get excited about it. Yeah,
so we've done the amount of laps we've done talking business. Yeah,
I walked thousands and thousands of kilometers.
Just talking about it. Yeah,
but Talking about this, we actually have a listener question coming in from Aiden.
Another real listener question.
Yeah.
We're actually getting there now.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
Yeah, no, Aiden from a line sent us in a question, so I'm going to play this out now.
Well, gents, loving the podcast so far. One of the last questions was there's so many things in business and everything else. Where do you get started and stuff? Did you have a first bad hire? How did that go? How did that feel emotionally? Having hired, even myself hired a best friend that didn't work out. Have you hired a friend and it not worked out, or have you just had a really bad hire at one point, and how did you deal with it?
We've done both.
We've done both regularly, with the best of intentions always. With regards to like a bad hire, there's a good quote of like, hiring is guessing and firing is knowing. And it just becomes more and more true as you go down the journey, go on this journey. But like, I don't think necessarily we had like a terrible hire ever. It's like either we weren't prepared for that person to come into the business. Like when we hired some first like salespeople, it's like we were expecting to bring in sales. It wasn't working, and it's like, was that their fault? Like in hindsight, probably like our fault as well, So it's like it was always like mutual. But like we've had a couple of people, like I felt that every time we knew someone bad came into the business, like we were able to we tried our best to reallocate them to different departments and try to upskill them. But if that didn't work after like continuous, trying to like improve it, there's only ever like one person that really stands out to me, who I'm thinking of, A.R. Yeah, like that one person came into the business with utmost disrespect to what we've built, and like instead of wanting to bring innovation, wanted to bring like this whole concept of I'm here to take over, not to take part. And like you're kind of like, I appreciate your experience, but like we've built this and there's other people here. You can't just like day one outshine people. I remember this person like told us like very clearly, to be fair to them, of like I need to be like taking home like 100,000 euros a year salary, guys, like really fast. And this was like year 3 or 4 in business for us, and like this person just came in the door, and like before, like just after accepting their pay rise, they wanted like their pay offer, they wanted a pay rise straight away. And me and Daragh were like, oh my god, this is like toxic, and the whole team thought that this person was a dictator instead of a leader, and they were just so overall unhappy that like we've had to let go of this person like really fast. Remember, that wasn't even easy because we were like, this person is gonna like backstab us or do something bad, like it's like
Eric, do you remember they tried to, they wanted us to host all our websites on their servers.
Oh yeah, because our solution wasn't great enough, and like
no, he just wanted more money.
Exactly. And it's like, but like remember the way he proposed it. He came to us and was like, oh guys, actually instead of giving me a pay increase, you can give me all your websites.
No, you wanted both.
Both,
because I spent loads of time with him. Yeah.
My god!
And me and him went on site with a couple of clients, so I was in the car with him for a good bit. But he wanted both.
And after this person was fired, I want to make that clear. This person was fired. This person went to some of our clients
try to
poach them, and all our clients laughed in his face, saying, like, what are you thinking? Like, are you like high, man? Like get out of here, And
he had it on his social media for years later. Grafton. He still
today. I think he has Grafton on his. I looked at that because it was my LinkedIn. I actually like asked LinkedIn to like remove him.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn hasn't answered. So like, please LinkedIn, like remove him.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. We both thought of the same one.
That was probably the only that was the only
like
hire.
That was like the first bad toxic hire who actually
malicious.
had malicious energy and like really like it just was terrible.
Yeah. But we knew like we had a bad gut feeling, but because we were expanding so fast,
we were so desperate for somebody to come in, and they hit experience. Yeah. This is why like culture is so important in your business. That you're not just hiring based on experience, because you're gonna have a lot of head chefs in your kitchen. So but yeah, that's funny. We both knew like that person. So A.R, if you're listening, we didn't like you. You weren't great for our business. Friends, like interesting. Like our story is funny because like we weren't necessarily like not friends in school, but I'd like to say we didn't really like know each other as well. Like would have just brushed shoulders with just doing similar activities or just know of each other. But like I know myself, I never really like stood out in school, or like we never really like had like mutual connections, right? But like throughout the process, the last 6.5 years, never mind friendships, we built a really strong brotherhood throughout business. So that was like excellent, in that term. But like I probably done this a little bit more than you, of bringing in my friends and giving them jobs.
You still do that?
Yeah, I do. I do. I've had bad experience repeatedly with hiring them because I realized negative traits of my friends, and my friends usually they don't like accepting like this is a business. So nobody here just gets paid to look pretty and sit down and like do some small inputs. Everyone here gets paid to make a change and move the needle in their own department, right? Because like we're a small team, we gotta make stuff happen. So I've always had the best of intentions at heart, and always look at, still today, I will always try to give everyone an opportunity, and I will try to position them in a way of success. But if that person doesn't want to give their 100%, or if their 100% is only 50%, then I'm sorry, then we can still be friends, but we just won't be doing business together, won't be hiring you again. But I just wanted to like maybe conclude it of like, had a lot of scenarios recently where kind of gave someone an opportunity, not having necessarily a friendship, but built a friendship by giving them an opportunity, and there's like trust like came out of it. It's possible, but you just gotta. It's funny.
Yeah, the only model that I've personally seen work, and I've seen this work for you and for myself, is like you said, we knew each other before this process, but we weren't friends. We became friends and
throughout the process.
My experience, even and primarily watching you, is anyone we've ever brought in as friends, they end up leaving for whatever reason. You're usually not friends afterwards, and that's why I think a lot of people talk about the idea of don't hire your friends.
Sucks.
And like you said, you'll build relationships with people over time. It's usually stronger. And even like Jack, who co-founded Grafton with us, and he ended up leaving because he didn't like the lifestyle of working in an office, which is so fair.
And we're great mates still,
but again, we didn't really know each other at the start. It was like we all jumped in together.
It was a discovery.
Yeah, we all jumped in together. So it's an interesting one. Like obviously, Aaron and I have been friends for 15 years.
That's what I was gonna say. Actually, like you and Aaron, like we're friends. But there's like that works right now, doesn't it?
Because it's because we have very deep trust, and like I know the dude really well. But it was partially his technical skills of the reason why I think him and I got together. But majority of it was his ability. Like he's just a bit of he's so consistent. He's a bit of a workhorse.
He's an absolute animal, and he's an absolute athlete as well. He does his running on the side of Magnate as well, and I think any athlete will perform quite well in any sort of. It's a good transfer because they got to show up to train every day. They got to really. If they're injured, they still got to get up and recover and push. So, I think that really translates well in Aaron, and he's, he looks like a real strong add-on to your, team.
Totally.
So, I'm not saying anyways, don't hire friends, but, I don't know, is there a way to communicate it, well, but I've had quite an unsuccessful pattern of hiring friends. Family, I haven't hired family as such, gave family job, it's been okay. Again, I just don't know, mate. It's nice to go home and not talk about business. That's a nice thing just to not talk about it. But if I had a brother or someone to bring in, I would probably still bring them in, and you still want to get them in. I think like that love just kind of blinds you and just gets you to move your kind of goalposts in terms of performance and certain things as such. And if you don't do it, and so it's I'm always give everyone an opportunity. if I do see any sort of skill set value they can add to the company today, I will give them an opportunity. And if they can, then I might just give them a recommendation letter and let them off.
Yeah.
You know?
I definitely think, and I think the only thing that stood between Aaron and let's say other times I was doing this is, I think his personal characteristics and his professional characteristics ticked all the boxes. And I knew where he was at technically, and I knew he was at professionally, that he was like, he's perfect combination to come in for Magnate.
It was, yeah. Something just came into my head actually. Do you know what worked really well in our relationship hiring my friends? Was that whenever we did hire friends, you were the one managing them.
Yeah.
You were the one that was like critically like looking at KPIs with them, pushing them. So I was actually never never protecting them as such. So I was like, Daragh, look, I'm going to take them on, but like, because I'm obviously biased, like, Daragh, you go and you know, kind of help this person or be their manager. Yeah. So like that actually always worked really well between us, and we still do this. You know, good cop, bad cop, in a lot of sense. Now, funny, I think you've always gotten the bad cop medal, and I've always been the good cop. But look, someone has to.
That's okay.
Someone has to do that.
But yeah, like definitely.
Good question, though.
Yeah, no, definitely on the friend side, definitely tough, and definitely one you want to be wary of, especially if it's a co-founder, because being an entrepreneur is very difficult. And
a lot of people don't get over the money conversation or the equity split conversation. Like that's like the biggest thing people get so like bogged down and stressed about. And it's like, okay, when you're starting off a business, your business is worth zero, so you can really like start arguing about what the potential millions of values it can be. So, look.
And I think on the bad hire side, like personally, is every bad hire or like poor hire we ever had, we had a bad good feeling at the start. And if you do, and like Erik said, I think it's perfectly said, you know, hiring is guessing, firing is knowing. If you know, fire fast, because again, especially on the culture side, they can be extremely rotten. They can start rotting away in your organization and being a bad influence on other people. And really and truly, it's either, and the way I always thought it best is, you know, because it's really tough to let people go and like to fire someone. But whenever I walk into those conversations, I was always, if I don't make this call, I'm putting everyone else's job at risk and everything we've built and any momentum. So it's like, is it them or all of us?
Yeah.
And again, people got mortgages, they got
like
kids.
You ain't got money to waste at the start of your business. You got nobody just like that can sit around that's not creating the impact you need or deserve. You know, so like, do you remember like we've had like a salesperson we brought on, but like during the interview, like there was like spelling mistakes in their text messaging. They were late. You know, there were so many things, and you've called these red flags like from the minute, and I was like, Daragh, you're kind of like just like
overcritical.
Overcritical of them, Daragh. Like, you know, I'm sometimes late or whatever. You know, it's like, but I compensate somewhere else, I suppose. But do you remember the reason we've lost business or had really stressful situation with business? No, I think we actually incurred a loss is because he was late responding to clients. He had mistakes repetitively in client work. So like those trends that were avoided, again, because like he was my friend, want to like quickly like accelerate and get him in. It's like, well, I guess we've lost business because of that.
Because the job interview is typically someone at their very best. Typically when they get more comfortable, those habits only just get worse and worse.
Yeah.
You know, so again, no more than, let's say, a first date. It's like you're going on a date usually with the best version of this person. Yeah. Like, you know, any sort of habits you see is usually, you know, become bigger over time. But so anyways, this is a good chat. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I know we went a bit ad hoc on it, but I think it went well. So
feedback's welcome.
Always welcomed. Yeah. And it was a good episode. Make sure you like and subscribe to our podcast. We are posting Monday
evenings.
We're, I think, on every platform, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Can you please stop commenting? What are they commenting?
Who's bro talking to?
Who's bro talking to? Because bro's talking to everyone. Whatever this trend was, I was made aware of this trend today.
We're going to get more comments like that.
Who's bro talking to? I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So we're probably going to do some more recorded content this week because we're all on holidays and annual leaves and everything. So we have a cool episode coming up. I'm excited about our whiteboard episode where we're breaking down how our first offer we got to sell our business within, I think, 2-3 years of starting our business what metrics that the buyers were looking at, how they value their business. We're going to give you a transparent breakdown of it, probably share as much as we can on a whiteboard, and we're going to work it out, what we've taken from that exercise, what we wish we would have known, and how it's actually translating to today. I'm going to try to share as much transparent information about Grafton Digital, how we've multiplied that first valuation in the space of 4 years.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our best on that. That's how I'm excited about that.
Yeah, let
exercise.
me know that was a really cool experience, and excited to share any learnings that we had out of that, because it's definitely some big ones. So guys, like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Have a good one.